Welcome to Sunset Rewind. My name is Dale Thayer, and today we're going to cover boys varsity basketball at Newport Harbor. And to do this, we have none other than Coach Bob Torribio.
Thanks, Mr. Thayer. It's an honor to be back and be part of the Second Timers Club. This is
Yes,
fantastic.
Welcome to the program, Coach, or should I say welcome back. You did it for me because we did this about a year ago. But much has changed, right? We got a new season, a new roster, new competition, and the competition in Southern California basketball is serious, and especially in the Sunset League. I think you'd agree.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of public school leagues out there that are better than the Sunset League in, I don't care what the sport is, top to bottom, every night, baseball, soccer, obviously basketball is what we're talking about right now, and not everybody's signing up to play a Sunset League team.
I agree, man. The competition is fierce. But rather than breaking down the X's and O's, we want to talk about you and your players and these student athletes that just bring it every day at practice. They bring it every game night. And why this team matters to the school and the community. And ultimately, we want to give the fans a reason to come out and watch and support this team. So if that's okay with you.
That sounds fantastic.
Like a plan. All right,
I
good.
think anybody who knows Newport Harbor boys basketball or knows Newport Harbor High School knows that it's a privilege to teach there and a privilege to work there and a privilege to coach basketball there.
Yes.
And we try to remind our guys that they're very lucky to go to Newport Harbor. And it just seems like every year we attract a student athlete that does the right thing in the classroom and does the right thing on the basketball court. Right. And we're very lucky to have another group like that this year. Same with the JV team and same with the freshman team. But I know we're focused on the varsity team right now. We got 11 guys that are great people, great students, and great athletes. And they're making us look pretty smart right now.
Yes, good. Well, let's start with you, Coach, because let's face it, without you, we're just playing pickup basketball, aren't we?
That might be a better thing sometimes. We're just rolling the ball out. Sometimes I get in the way.
The kids might prefer it that way, but I don't think that's a winning formula. So
I appreciate that.
The coach
Glad we're
is
taping
absolutely mandatory. So let me see if I have this bio right. Boy, time flies. I think you're 25 years with the program.
24th year.
24.
Overall, 14th in charge. 10 years with Coach Hurst, coaching every level of the program, freshman coach, JV coach, varsity assistant coach. And I would have done that for as long as Coach Hurst was the varsity coach. And then he decided to step down 14 years ago. And I threw my name into the hat, and the administration was nice enough to give us a shot. And all of a sudden, 14 years later, here we go. I felt like I was assistant for a significant period of time, and I don't feel like I've been a varsity coach for 14 years. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it sure goes fast. And not only do you coach the team, but you went to school there.
Proud alum of Newport Harbor High School. And I was a player in the program. Not a very good player, but I did play for a couple years there.
I don't know. I know you held at least one record, so to do that, you got to be pretty good. But as a coach, you got 4 league titles. You've won Coach of the Year more than once. I know that. So you're certainly accomplished. And you're a teacher there.
Very, very fortunate to be in the social science department at Newport Harbor. This year I have a couple world history classes, and I'm teaching a new class for myself this year, Advanced Placement Human Geography, which has been a lot of fun. It's a great class with a great curriculum with some great students, so it's a lot of fun having being my 22nd year as a teacher and having to teach a brand new course has been a lot of fun.
Well, I almost think being a teacher and educator is more important than a coach, isn't it?
They're a combination of the two, I hope.
Yeah. So just tell us briefly, what drew you to coach at your alma mater? What do you love most about coaching high school basketball?
Graduated college, did a couple of different things. Never quite found my footing in those different things I was doing. And I went to Coach Hurst, had some free time, went by, said hello to Coach Hurst. I had known him at junior high school. He was not at Newport Harbor when I was there, but we crossed paths, so I did know him, and he knew me, and I went by, and we had some lunch, and he said, hey, take the spring, come on by, coach a little bit, see what happens. And I took the spring, and there's not a whole lot going on the spring for boys basketball, especially in Newport Harbor. And I loved it. It was great. Just a couple of days a week, and I went, man, if this is this much fun in the off season, what's it going to be like during the regular season? So then I spent the summer with him coaching every day, and it was great. And then Next thing you know, I was getting my substituting done, and then back to working on my credential and student teaching, and then here we go, and here we are today.
Excellent. Excellent. So more than basketball, more than hoops, what is it that you're trying to teach these kids? Because we know there's so much more to life than playing a sport.
We try to remind the guys we're not
Yes.
we're not here to teach them how to win or how to lose.
Right.
We're teaching them how to be a good person regardless
Yes.
of the result. Somebody asked me one time what's a winner and what's winning. Well, winning is what the scoreboard says, and a winner is somebody who carries themselves the correct way regardless of what the scoreboard says. So we try to remind our guys as much as possible, next game, next play philosophy, and I think our guys do a great job of understanding that year in and year out. I think you look at our schedule this year, some wins, some losses, but we always try to emphasize next game, next play mentality. And I think our guys know that we're not a transactional program. We're not trying to get something out of these guys, right? We're trying to transform them rather than have it be transactional. And I think our guys identify that with all our coaches, whether it's Coach Tomer and his brother, Coach Tomer. We have two brothers. We have two freshman coaches this year, Coach Pick at the JV level, or myself and Coach Carey at the varsity level. I think the guys know that we're there to teach them as much as we can about basketball, but also, it's not what happens to us, it's how we respond to it.
Yes. Sounds like a lot of character building, which is very important.
We hope so. It might not look like that when the referee makes a call I disagree with, but we try.
All right, well, let's recap the season so far and talk about this team a little more in depth. So we're still in non-league play. Seems like non-league is mostly tournaments, and we've had a few so far.
Yeah, there's different philosophies out there, and a few years back, they kind of changed the rules with scheduling, and tournaments used to count as less games, and you could play, they only counted as 2 games, but now each game in a tournament counts as a single game. And we found it to be more beneficial for us to just go to tournaments and play teams that, you win, you go one way, you lose, you go one way, you win and lose, you go that way. And you're just kind of trying to find opponents that fit what you're trying to work on in the preseason. And when you have the Sunset League, you're trying to play as many different opponents as possible, because if you look at our 7 teams in our league right now, they're all pretty darn good, and they're all very well coached, and they all have different styles. So we're just trying to expose ourselves to as much basketball and different philosophies as we can in the preseason, and we play tournaments. I know that a lot of coaches will go out and they'll find 4 single games or 6 single games, things like that. We think it's just a little better for us to go find 4 tournaments, get our 16 games, 16 non-league games in those 4 tournaments, and then play our 12 league games after that.
Makes sense to me. So
I appreciate that.
To recap some of the tournaments, the first one was Santa Ana.
Yes,
You guys went 3-1. Does that mean you made it to the finals in that one?
We did.
Okay.
We did. Those first games, the first week, are tough on everybody.
Yes.
I don't think we want to play any of those opponents we played that first week again. We caught them at the right time. They're all getting sharper and cleaner, and we were a little rusty too. But we managed to make it to the finals and had a tough opponent in Chino Hills on Saturday, and didn't go our way, but we learned a lot.
Well, good. So you got yourself a runner-up in that first tournament. Garden Grove was next. I see that you went 2-2, but I understand you lost maybe a game or 2 that you shouldn't have. So
I don't know about that. It's
Okay.
a good tournament, and Garden Grove Loera, they do a great job every year of putting together a great tournament, and it's 16-team bracket, which we love, right? Yeah. You lose, you go left, you win, you go right, and we were able to get by a pretty good El Medina team and ran into a really good Godinez team after that, who took it to us, and then ran into another good Fullerton team who took it to us. Okay. And then we had a Saturday game against a very well coached Sunny Hills team, and the ball just went in for us a little more than them that day. And 2 good programs playing at a 1:00 game at Loera, competing. And both teams wanted to be there. It's a good high school basketball game. Sometimes you get those tough games on a Saturday afternoon at a neutral site. But both teams played very hard. The ball just went in a little bit more for us that day.
Well, then the third tournament, which is the most recent tournament, was the Western tournament. And I understand you guys beat Servite in the finals to win the tournament. beat Servite by 1 point. Tell us about that one.
We did. That was a good week for the Sailors. The Western tournament, Coach Joe does a great job up there at Western. We had some seniors who were a little disappointed. Western used to be notorious for having a low rim, about 9-10. So we had to make sure we were going to tell our young guys before we got there, hey, no dunking and warm-ups. Everybody gets excited to come here, but it's still a tactical foul if you're dunking and warm-ups. But they raised the hoops up to regular heights. So our seniors were a little disappointed, and some of our younger guys were a little upset that they didn't get a chance to take part in the low rims at Western. But great tournament, played a really good, very well coached, tough team. California on Monday, who has a unique style of play. They're up in you. They shoot the three ball. They press. They sub guys. Guys coming in, guys coming out. You really have to be patient against them. And then we played Coach Danny Ortega's Valencia Tigers on Tuesday. Very hard to guard. Run great stuff. Coach does a great job with this program right there. They're very young, and I think that might have helped us a little bit in that game. But that was a back and forth game the entire day, and stay away from the Valencia Tigers next year. Boy, they're going to be really good. They're really good this year too, but they're young. And then we played always good Ocean View on Friday, and we're able to get by them. And then Saturday night we had we managed to win our pool and make it to the finals. 7:30 start at Western, which is a late game for high school kids. We don't play any games at that hour of the day, even in league. Our games start at 7. So we got our guys out of bed, which we usually don't do. But we did for that game because it was just a long day. So we got up that morning, we shot a little bit, and everybody was on time, which is great for high school kids on a Saturday. And we were efficient with our time on Saturday, and then met at the gym about 6:30. Everybody was on time again, and then the game started out and things weren't really going our way. We weren't real sharp, and then we cleaned it up at halftime a little bit. And the ball went in for us a little bit in the second half, and they missed a couple shots, and then it was very exciting at the end of the game. Time was winding down, and we got the ball into one of our better scorers, one of our better players, Marcel Aguilar, and if I call timeout right there, I'm just going to get in the way. So once he had the ball, I definitely wasn't going to call timeout because we're just going to try to get it to him anyways, more than likely. So we played it out. He got all the way to the basket, and we thought it was a foul. Servite might disagree with that, but Marcel's a great kid. He'll tell you he got fouled. And then even though he got fouled, he still had to make 2 free throws with 2 seconds left. And a credit to him, he made them both.
Wow. Yeah, that was a 17-0 run in the fourth quarter to pull that game out because you guys were trailing, I think, at the end of the third quarter, 47-55, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you took down a Trinity League team, Servite. Pretty impressive.
Very, very well coached. We all know how tough that league is. Arguably the best, arguably the toughest league in Southern California, maybe. I don't know this year. Maybe the country. So with the opportunity to play against that level of an opponent, a lot of fun. A lot of fun for our guys.
Well, we got a taste of who this team is. It sounds to me like, in one word, grit. To be able to pull out a game like that is pretty impressive. So for you to maybe describe your team in a few words, what would they be? Like, what do these guys take pride in? What makes this group unique, maybe different from other teams you've coached? Let's start talking about your players.
What we really noticed, even going back to last spring and then definitely in the summer with this group of guys, was that they like basketball. They really do. And not that other teams don't like basketball and want to be there, but we've, as you know, we've had a lot of athletes through the years who make us look pretty smart. You mentioned some of the success we've had.
Yes.
And that wasn't because of us. It's because we've had some tremendous athletes. But they were great athletes who also played basketball.
Right.
And I think this year we have, again, great athletes, great students, but they want to play basketball. Yeah. And you don't get that at a place like Newport Harbor all that often. Right. And we're very fortunate this year to have a group of guys that when practice is over, a lot of them want to stick around and shoot around. Right? If we give them a day off, they're you can kind of tell someone like, oh man, we don't really, we would love to be in the gym, coach, type thing. But there's a reason for what we do, right? We don't just make it up as we go. We don't just do anything. There's a reason for what we do. And this team, as much as any team we ever had, just loves playing basketball.
I understand why. It's a great game. So let's get down on that player level. Let's get to know some of these players. Like, is there one senior that maybe the fans should know about?
Yeah, he stands out for us because we're not exactly the most vertical team in the history of Harbor High. We have a lot of guards, but we do have a big guy, Owen Sakula,
Yes.
second team All-League last year, been on varsity since his sophomore year. Has committed to be a student athlete at Johns Hopkins. We're very proud of him.
Excellent.
And for Owen, he's worked so hard. He really has. He hasn't been a guy that when he got to high school, you could look at him and say, you know what, he's going to be a college basketball player in 4 years. We kind of knew it as coaches, and I know Owen believed that about himself. But he grew into that body. Things worked out for him physically, but he also worked at becoming the basketball player that he is today, and we're very proud of him. And he's earned everything that he's accomplished, and we couldn't be happier that he's a Sailor.
I love his game. How about a player that you might consider the hardest worker? Maybe a guy that just brings energy, brings a spark when it's needed. You got
we
got that on the roster we should look out for.
It's not the tallest team. It's also not the biggest team numbers wise in the history of Sailor hoops. But all 10 guys work very hard. We can go down the line right here, and it was a unique fall for us, a unique preseason, because we have two real athletes, Aldi Aguero, who's a superstar water polo player, and Cade Clark, who's a great football player who also plays basketball, for us, excuse me. And we didn't have them in the preseason because they were and rightly so, playing more than one sport, which not enough people do nowadays. And we had to combo our practices with the JVs. Our numbers are a little low right now, and the JV team did a great job. But I'll give our guys credit because we just split our time between weight room, and we'd work on some things, and the JVs would come together and we'd go 5-on-5. But I can't give Grant Appleby and Liam Casey enough credit as juniors who, during the summer, they were with JV. And then some different things happened with different guys. We unfortunately had an injury to a senior, Jack Tester, who unfortunately was not going to be able to play his senior year. Tremendous young man. We wish him all the best. So we had to make some adjustments, and Grant and Liam were moved up to varsity kind of at the last minute, and they did a great job of getting us better. I know they both would like to see the floor a little bit more, but we couldn't be more proud of everything that they're doing for us on the basketball team. And like the wise man said, right? They're laboring and they're waiting. They're waiting for their moment. And they'll be ready when it comes.
Excellent. Can you identify a player that maybe has improved the most through the season, or maybe through the program, maybe grown the most?
We're real proud of our seniors, right?
Yes.
I think when you look at Hudson Whitting or Antonio Hatziris or Leighton Torribio or Will Harrington, Leighton's been on varsity for a couple years. He's done a great job of just, again, biding his time, working hard, showing up every day, lifting hard, and waiting for his opportunity. Him and Tony both probably didn't play as much as they would have liked as junior. They want to be on the floor, right? And now they're getting opportunities as seniors, and they're making the most of it. And then Cade Clark, along those same lines, was on varsity last year. Probably didn't play as much as he would have liked as a junior, but now making the most of all his minutes on the varsity. And you know he's going to go in there. He's a basketball player who has played football, if you will. And what that means is he's tough. He's going to get on the floor. He's going to get that 50-50 ball for you. He's not afraid of contact. And we couldn't be happier that he chose to play both sports. And then Hudson Whitting and Will Harrington, those are two guys who, program guys. And they've been with us all 4 years. They're seniors. Unfortunately for Will, he's dealing with an injury right now. But he came to me, and he's the kind of kid you just really appreciate, because he's injured right now. And we gave him the option, what do you want to do? I want to be part of the team, coach. What's more inspirational than that?
Right.
A kid who could enjoy his senior year in the lovely Newport Mesa area, but instead comes to practice every day, does everything he can for us, works the clock, listens to me, overcoach, get too excited at times. I'm not afraid to make a joke when I am might be a little too fired up. He settles me down, keeps things in perspective for us, so we can't thank him enough for everything he's doing for the program. And then Hudson Whitting, 3 years in the program, first year on varsity. He's getting a lot of minutes for us right now. We're expecting a whole heck of a lot from a young man who has never played varsity basketball before. Mm-hmm. But hopefully that's what you want as a competitor, is a coach or coaches to challenge you, to say, hey, here you are. Here's your moment. You've been grinding for 3 years. Now it's your senior year. You got the ball in your hands. Let's go and see what we can do.
his patience paid off. Now he's in the starting lineup, right?
Yeah, he's starting for us right now.
All right. Well, I think you might have already answered my next question. I was going to ask you if you have what you feel might be an enforcer, just that junkyard dog that's got to be a little crazy to play really good defense. The guy that's willing to take a charge. Maybe he's quarterbacking the defense. He's talking the ball. He's a good communicator. You can hear it from the parking lot.
I know you have a celebrity here in Max Pickup who was part of some really good teams there in Newport Harbor High, and he was on a freshman team that emphasized the hard hat. Right,
Yeah,
lunch bells and hard hats, and for us, kind of our lunch bell hard hat guy is a really good basketball player, Marcel Aguilar, MVP of the last tournament we were in right there, and he kind of does it all for us. I mean, he makes the game look pretty easy because he's so skilled, but he's leading us in charges right now too.
Love it.
So he's as unselfish as they come, and we couldn't be more proud of him. And then. Really, we've asked a lot of Cole Hawk, sophomore Cole Hawk, who, again, was on the JV team in the summer, and we brought him up to varsity towards the end of summer, and he loves hoops. He loves basketball, and sometimes in practice, we get on him a little bit in practice, and then he come game time, though, he knows what to do because he's going to play hard. He's going to get you that rebound. He's going to get you that offensive rebound. He's going to go out there and guard the other team's best guy. I mean, not a lot of sophomores are willing to do that, but you match him up. He doesn't look at you like you're crazy. He says, here we go. I'm ready to guard this guy because he's a basketball guy. He loves hoops. He loves competing. And we're very fortunate to have 11 kids who want to play basketball for Newport Harbor, more importantly. They like playing basketball at Newport Harbor. A lot of kids want to play basketball, but not so much for what's on the front of the jersey. And we're very fortunate to have 11 guys who are really excited about playing basketball for Newport Harbor, and we hope they're excited for the next 16 games.
So they're passionate about the game, and they're passionate about the school. I love it. Well, I think you answered my next question is who's that guy on your team that wants to guard the best player on the other team? I think you just told me it's Cole.
You know what? It's very fortunate. We've got a couple.
I want that guy on my team
We've got a couple guys. We've got a couple guys who would do that, and fortunately for them, they're going to have lots of opportunities to that. And as I'm sure you've seen looking at other teams in our league, there's a couple of teams in our league that they have a lot of best players. We're not quite sure who their best player is. Right. So luckily for us, we got a lot of guys who like playing defense because just about every opponent we have from here on out's got more than one guy. They got guys. They got dudes. So we're going to have to find a way to defend not just a guy, but an entire team the rest of the way.
Well, you got to love the kid that doesn't shrink in the moment. He wants to be the guy.
We got a lot of guys like that. We got a lot of guys like that.
That's awesome. Okay, a couple more questions for you about your players. Do you feel like you have a natural leader when things get tough? He doesn't panic. Is there a teammate that everyone respects? Maybe, let's just go with those two questions.
We're a quiet team.
Yeah.
We're a real quiet team. A couple weeks ago, every team's different. Every team is different. Personalities are different, and that's you wouldn't think that by watching us play that this team is quiet. I think we're pretty darn competitive. We're very unselfish, but there's not a lot of guys who are going to dazzle you with their conversations before practice, during practice, after practice. We got a couple guys who like to chatter, but for the most part, we're just kind of quiet, hardworking kids who are excited to be here. And we always ask our guys. We have different themes for practice. In the preseason, turnover Tuesday, try to turn the ball over all day. First time Friday, we're going to try to run everything the first time. No second chances here, boys. Let's try to be sharp the first time. And then we, towards the end, we try to arrive at a point in time where it's, why are you here Wednesday or why are you here? And it's usually a day where we don't have school, whether it's the teacher in-service day or Veterans Day, or it's a day where kids in this community can be doing I don't know how many different things. And we usually go down the line, and we usually start with the young guys and then reach the seniors after that. And I think this year might have been the year to go backwards, change it up a little bit and ask the seniors first, because our young guys kind of struggled with that question a little bit. We kind of had to help them along the way. Hey, let's remember why we're here. I'm not going to tell you why you're here. Hopefully you can tell us why you're here. And it took some prodding a little bit, took some support, but we got there. And I think at this point in time, all 11 guys have figured out that their reason for being here, for playing basketball in Newport Harbor.
Well, thank you for that, for getting into that roster and sharing some color with these kids. It's good to hear, and good for the fans to know a little bit more about them. So let's talk about what's ahead. It sounds like we have one tournament left before league starts, and we're calling it the Estancia Shootout, correct?
Yeah, we got an updated schedule today. So it went from a tournament to being a shootout. So we're going to play 4 games over 5 days against high-quality opponents. And then we got our 12 league games after that. So 4 games at Estancia to try to get a little sharper and get ourselves league ready, and then go from there to what we can see by the schedule is a very tough 4 weeks, or I guess 5 weeks if you got that one game in February right there. But we're excited. I know last year when we talked, we discussed having league games before the winter break, and it was during finals week. And with how hard our guys work on their academics, it was a long week for us. They were pretty exhausted having finals and then having games and trying to balance all that with a very difficult week. So the Sunset League coaches got together, and I guess fortunately for me, we all felt the same way, that it'd be better to have probably a rough week here and there where you go a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, rather than having 2 games this week during finals week for our school. So we're excited about that. I know last year was 12 league games as opposed to the year before 6, so more changes. The only thing that's constant is change. So 6 league games a couple years ago, 12 last year with 2 before break. Now we're getting 12 in a month, and that'll be a lot of fun for our guys. If you're a high school kid, what do you want to do? You want to practice? You want to play? So this is a perfect schedule for a high school kid.
Right, excellent. So 4 games left between Christmas and New Year's. Then league starts January 3rd. 12 more games against a tough league, a really good league. Okay, next, I want to talk about fan support and why we should be going to these games. To me, there's no better venue than that gym you guys play in. I mean, the school was built in 1930, right? Is that when that gym was built?
The gym was added a few years later.
Okay.
And there is one balcony. And the fun fact is there used to be 2 balconies.
Oh,
and they used to play. Yeah, the other end.
Well, I was just going to say, when you walk into that gym, it feels like a scene out of Hoosiers, and you expect to see a couple of peach baskets up there.
Yeah.
It's
Unfortunately,
just got that feel to it.
We don't have Norman
Especially
Dale
with
as the coach,
balcony.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we do have some Jimmy Chipwood guys.
Pretty
but
close,
we need a Norman Dale on the sidelines right there. It's a special place. It's a special place. And whether you've seen a wrestling match in there, or a volleyball match in there, or basketball like we're talking about right now, it's a great venue. I think they host dancing with the staff in the gym.
Yeah,
they don't put that in the theater. They even put that in the gym, because it is such a unique spot for a high school to have. It gets so loud, it's so intimate, and it's a lot of fun. So we have 6 home league games, which should be a lot of fun. And obviously we want the community to come out and support these guys for the effort that they're putting in during the season.
To me, this is where it's at. You get to the gym early enough, you can have a seat to one of those games right on the floor. For how much? $10 to get in?
It's pretty affordable. It's good family fun, that's for
I think a Laker
sure.
game is maybe $5,000 to $10,000 to get on the floor. You can go to one of your games and you're right there in the middle of the action.
And those NBA games take a long time. Our high school games are pretty efficient.
Too. 32-minute game, 4 8-minute quarters. We've talked about this before. I think the kids are getting ripped off in a sense, because those games go so quick. They're over in an hour.
I'm sticking to my guns, though.
It's such a good winter sport, because you're just in that gym. It's warm, and I drive past that Davidson Field in the winter, and I see those huddled masses in the bleachers trying to stay warm during those soccer games, and I think to myself, man, I'm glad I'm not.
The winter sports out there, the soccer kids are working really hard, and then the girls water polo team out there enduring storms on the pool deck. So anytime I feel sorry for myself with the gym being 65 degrees, Coach Sinclair, Coach Schroeder, Coach Sid, they remind us that, hey, come outside, put on a parka, see how long you can last. I don't think I would last very long.
And you guys are throwing on a pair of shorts and a tank top and lacing up some sneakers, and it's no elements to deal with. I love it. So tell me what the fans mean to the players and you. I mean, how great is it to have the fans in the stand, a packed gym? And how different is that?
It's a unique
from those
spot,
games where the gym's not so
it's a unique spot because they're on the floor. I mean, it's you talk to other coaches. Some people like coming to Newport Harbor. Some coaches don't. Some
Right.
coaches don't like the fact that the fans are right behind them.
Right.
They don't like the fact that the fans are right there on the court. But it is a special place, and I know our guys get real excited for every game. For every game, obviously, but the more people we can get in the gym, it just adds to the environment. It's a lot of fun, and
And you
that
guys-
gym's as much fun as anywhere in the county, maybe even the country.
Yeah, I think you guys have one of the best student sections also. Don't they call it the tar pit?
Yeah, the tar pit's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. The tar
Yeah.
pit's a lot of fun.
What does that bring to the game? Some energy, I'm sure. Maybe that's your
well,
sixth man. Is that?
You know,
Yeah,
Mr.
that was-
Thayer, I spend all day in the classroom with
Yeah,
these kids.
yeah,
So come
so,
game
yeah.
time, that's somebody else's job to
Well, I was
monitor
gonna
the
ask
tar
you
pit
if-
over there. I try to let them do their thing. That's why the administrators make those big bucks. It's their job to monitor the tar
Do
pit.
they ever
I-
get you in trouble? That was my next question. Has there ever been a technical
that's
foul?
the athletic. The athletic
Yeah.
director gets to deal
Yeah.
with that right
Yeah.
there, and then we just want to get them to the seats, and hopefully they want to support our guys for working hard.
Yes. Well, the impact of the fans traveling the road games. These games are so close. We got to get the fans to hit the road with you guys. I mean, we're not getting on the freeway here. We're going
Yeah.
to the city next door.
Yeah, just down
Yeah.
the road. It'd be great to
Yeah.
get some more kids traveling. And that's just 21st century.
Right.
That's just, things are a little different now. There's a lot of options out there for kids
get it,
nowadays. But hopefully for the league, now that the league's kind of set, we can have some rivalries going. I know it makes it a little bit more challenging when, the certain sports are in different leagues, and then the rest of us are in one league. It's hard to build a rivalry when that's happening right there. But I know that a lot of us are playing the same opponents, and what's a rivalry in volleyball is a rivalry in baseball, is a rivalry in basketball or wrestling or soccer or whatever it is. And I think that helps get the students out because they see the people that they're competing against themselves.
Right.
They see them on the pool deck, they see them in the stadium, they see them in the gym, and that adds an element to it that hopefully brings high school kids together. Because if you lost or if you won in your specific event, maybe you want to go support your friend in their event,
Right.
and then you want to be able to
Reciprocate,
remind that person on the other side that, hey, we beat you in this sport, now we're beating you in this sport type thing. So hopefully we can get some kids to come out and travel with us a little bit.
All right, Coach. Well, that gives us some real great color on the program. I really appreciate it. In closing, which games should we circle on the calendar? I mean, if we can't make all these games, which ones do we need to be at? Of course, there's Battle of the Bay. Those are the biggies, right? January 16th, I see we play at Corona Del Mar, and the home game is the final game of the season on February 2nd. And then I see we have senior night, which is always a good game to go to, January 28th against Marina.
Every game for us
Yes.
is going to be a battle. We're not going to
Yes.
circle one in particular. We're focused
All right,
right now
let's get 'em
on
out.
next week, and we'll see what happens next week as we battle at the Estancia shootout, and then we start league with a very tough, very well coached Huntington Beach team, and we'll go from there. Any night you can come watch Sunset League basketball, you're going to see two teams that are going to be very competitive. I have all the respect in the world for the other 6 coaches in the league. They run great programs. They run great stuff. They do a great job getting their guys prepared. So, coach speak, you're going to circle all 16 of those games because they're going to be a lot of fun.
Well said, Coach. Well, folks, that's Coach Torribio giving us an inside look at boys varsity basketball at Newport Harbor. Best of luck the remainder of the season, Coach, and we'll see you at the gym.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Thayer. Appreciate it. And here's hoping we have a Third Timers Club next year.
Yes, let's do it. Every year, we'll run this back. Thank you.
Thank you.